What is up, everybody? Welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news from around the industry. I'm Drew Bosley. You can follow me on Twitter at Artistic Gamer, and that is Scott Savage. You can find him at Savage. Scott, what is happening today?
Oh, I'm excited to see what another packed day brings us.
Oh.
It's been a good week so far. Let's keep it going.
Absolutely, man. We've been non-stop around here. What's coming up on today's show? Days Gone once again is back in this week's episode. Today's show, talking about it coming to finally PC. We touched on it yesterday. Well, we'll be following up with more. Nintendo Indie World Showcase yesterday was massive. And, well, Twitch still remains to be king. Scott, should we get started or what?
I think we better.
All right, let's get going. We're going to start off with E3. Video game industry showcase will provide free, unprecedented access for everyone. E3 today announced it has joined forces with IGN, Future Games, PC Gamer and Games Radar, GameSpot, Polygon, IGN China, and Game Bonfire to extend its reach to video game fans worldwide, with additional media and distribution partners to be announced. E3 2021 will provide an unmatched experience with new levels of access for fans around the globe, with major publisher showcases, press conferences, thrilling reveals, extended live streams, and special guest appearances available free online for all attendees. E3 this year will take place through June 12th to June 15th. Scott, how excited are you this year for E3? Definitely a different take. We're finally getting back into E3, but it's never going to be what I think is the same as what we've known from the past.
Yeah, this is quite different, but the what they provide in saying what's on the way, all these special guests, and they're going to have all these reveals, they're trying to slate it like it's going to be the normal E3 we're kind of all used to.
Yeah,
and
sure.
I haven't exactly been able to, watch quite as well as I think I will be this year. This year seems pretty open to everybody, so I'm pretty excited to see that aspect for sure.
No, I think we're definitely in for something different. It's nice to see that they are working on coming back. I'm pretty excited for that as a whole, because we touched on before, E3 is like Christmas for gamers, right? Like, we're all pumped and excited to see what they can bring to the table. So hopefully something big will come around. Still missing some big names like PlayStation and EA, who will not be participating in this year's event. Xbox, though, will be, and we bring in Bethesda this year with them as well.
I'm wondering if Square Enix is going to come, or if they're going to put on their own show, kind of with Sony. There's still some questions I have yet to really know the answer to, but it's going to be interesting to see what exactly comes to E3. There's probably a lot of things that these developers are sitting on, or announcements they have yet to make, because it's been a long year, and things keep ramping up just as it goes longer and longer.
No, absolutely. It's the formula's changed this year too. Obviously, because of the pandemic, everybody's done their own kind of press conference from their own kind of showcase, right? You've seen Nintendo do their own thing now with the Nintendo Direct for a long time, and we'll be touching on their indie showcase today. But we also see that now coming out of PlayStation doing their state of play. We see Ubisoft doing their own thing with the Ubi Connect. Like, there's just so many other opportunities for them to contain the message how they want to contain it versus being swallowed up whole in the whole E3, hype and all that kind of stuff. Because when the early days, right, when we did E3, you would have PlayStation and Xbox and everybody at Ubisoft kind of all hammer out in one day, and then over the years you see them stagger that out so they can take away and keep some of that mind share for themselves for a while.
Yeah, there's a lot of information that comes out every time, so that you see them just trying to give the opportunity to be more memorable and to have their own kind of formula. So we'll see what this one brings. It's going to be quite different, but I'm still very hopeful. Even if it is different, I'm hoping it'll be, something like the E3 that we're usually expecting.
No, absolutely. I'm still pumped regardless of how it's going to go. There's lots on the go all the time, and like we cover it every day. So excited to see who's holding what back to reveal for E3. But who's holding back is Assassin's Creed Valhalla's first expansion for next month. Over on Twitter, Ubisoft took to the Twitters to say, to deliver a more refined experience, We're sharing that Wrath of Druids will now release on May 13th. We're working on an article to provide transparency and share insights on our dev process. Thanks for your patience. Keep an eye on our social channels for news. Wrath of the Druids will send you to Ireland. The expansion is part of the Valhalla Austera season, which adds new skills, officially this time apparently, and activities.
So it seems like a slight delay, but not too major. If it's still coming out in May, that doesn't seem that extreme.
No, it doesn't seem that kind of. We're not like 6 months out, right? It's only a small little delay. I'm sure we can all hang tight for that. But Scott, I gotta think, dude. Like, that is probably due to the pandemic once again.
I would have to guess that must be the case. The game is still pretty new, so I'm kind of surprised to see DLC coming in a form so quickly. So maybe that kind of factors into their decision. But in any case, taking an extra month, 2 weeks, whatever it may be, I want to believe is the right decision.
No, absolutely, right? Hold on a little bit, make it perfect, and hopefully the fans will enjoy that. I know Corey will be diving in for us over at Inside the Game, where he'll be talking about everything that happens in the game future for Valhalla. That one I have to get back to, Scott. I haven't finished it, man. Have you played it at all?
I've played it a bit, but I really do need to get back into it myself. I kind of fell out of it, and it's been a little hard getting back in. It's a daunting task. These new Assassin's Creed games they're so large that it's a big time spending. Absolutely.
It's a time sink when you get into the world of Assassin's Creed. I know buddy GameZub has been in there for a while, and it's endless, right? And then they keep coming out with more and more expansions. But who's expanding and holding on to the reach, though, in a tweet from Apex Legend, is they've reached the 100 million strong, and they're very excited. Obviously, we're just getting started. Thank you, Legends. That was just a small little tweet out on Twitter from the Apex Legends community. Obviously, a lot of people are jumping in there. I know Chelsea's in there killing it over on Twitch. You can find her over there too as well. Scott, what is her channel? Where do you find her?
She is under the title Lithrin, which can be a little difficult to spell, but as long as you get the Lith part, you can usually find her online.
She's there. She's killing it. It's awesome. I do not survive in the world of Apex. I play with Crystal all the time, and that game is just not meant for me, unfortunately.
I'm trying it on PC for the first time ever.
No,
took a couple rounds yesterday, and it's a new environment, that's for sure. It's a little more difficult than I expected. The players are good, and at 100 million players playing, then the odds of me finding somebody way better experienced than I am is getting quite high.
Absolutely. Speaking of being going high is Twitch. They remain to be king. Scott, Twitch continues to grow in Q1 2021, but YouTube gaming is lagging. Hours watched on Twitch are up 97%, but Facebook is poised to overtake YouTube. Streaming platforms Twitch and Facebook Gaming have seen considerable growth in the first quarter of 2021, but YouTube Gaming seems to have stumbled. A few reports from Streamlabs and Stream Hatchet shows Twitch remains the uncontested forerunner in the streaming space, generating over 72% of all hours watched across the market in Q1 2021. YouTube gaming continues to grow, but has started to dwindle in the last 12 months. In contrast, Facebook gaming has almost doubled its hours watched in the last year and is steadily gunning for second place. Dude, Twitch still the king. No big surprise there. Others dabbled in the market. We saw Xbox try to get in there with Mixer and just completely shut it down. What are your thoughts on the world of streaming? We're obviously on Twitch every day, twitch.tv/theofficial ITG, where you can catch us live with the daily news, as well as a weekly stream with all the guys from Inside the Game. But, dude, it's a hard market to get into when it comes to the world of streaming.
Yeah, well, I think this goes to show that people associate Twitch with streaming. When you think streaming, they seem to own that kind of just idea. They're associated very tightly, whereas YouTube has a lot of other avenues and a lot of other interest and reasons to go on YouTube. So I think
Sure.
that's just, I haven't heard anything about YouTube in quite a long time. I wasn't aware they were shrinking, but that kind of makes sense when you look at Facebook gaming. Facebook gaming is just seemingly popping up everywhere. I don't know about you, but if I scroll through my feed for too long, I end up finding several people gaming. It's just embedded in there. So I think that helps a lot, just having it embedded in an environment that's already really populated.
Sure.
So Facebook, I could see how it would just grow really fast.
Yeah.
But Twitch growing as well, it shows that a lot of people are really into watching streaming and streaming in general.
Well, I think gaming is obviously becoming the future of what we want to do on a day-to-day basis, right? We sit there, we chill out, we play games, or we're watching personalities do the same or talk about the games like we're doing right now. It's things like that. We just see the face of television switch over a little bit as we get into gaming, and gaming becomes more and more popular. Obviously, with the pandemic, everybody's at home right now, so things have become a little bit different as well. So I think that has something to do with a lot of the stats getting boosted. I question how much further they would be ahead if it wasn't for the pandemic, with everybody at home looking for something to do. So they grab a new console, can't find the Switch, you can't find the PS5, you can't find the Xbox Series X. Everybody's still looking for a new console, but that's what they want to do now, is they want a game, or they're watching somebody on Twitch, right? It's just nonstop.
I guess this really does make sense if you think about it as a transition from television to this kind of entertainment. It makes more sense. It's a very specific kind of interest.
Sure.
But gaming applies to a lot of people. So it just kind of, I think, has become the biggest form of entertainment, other than organized sports. But of course, they're running into issues too during the pandemic.
Absolutely, they are. That's right. Because we are probably one of the biggest industries right now in the entire world. We're bigger than a lot of them combined in that manner. So it's cool to see video games are on the rise nonstop. Hours over on Twitch are just phenomenal. So they're generating something like 536.4 million hours watched right now, just with Grand Theft Auto 5. Like, dude,
just with Grand Theft Auto 5, that's an insane amount.
Absolutely. League of Legends and Valorant are right there with 834 million hours just in the past quarter. So it's just not like, dude, people are just going nuts for this stuff. Pretty cool to see. Starbreeze, the developers behind Payday, are working on Payday Crime War with Pop Reach, a mobile shooter originally shut down back in 2019. The development team will now contribute to Payday 3. Starbreeze has found a new publishing partner to relaunch Payday Crime War, the mobile spin-off of its flagship shooter series. Payday Crime War originally soft-launched back in 2019 as a part of a partnership with NBC Universal. The game was a 4 versus 4 mobile shooter with players taking on the role of either cops or the heisters. But it was shut down by the end of the year when NBC Universal closed its publishing division, leaving Starbreeze to find a new partner. Well, it looks like they found a new partner now, and we'll see what happens with the future of that franchise. Payday 3 is also in development, we know of right now. They signed a huge deal with Koch Media, which is awesome to see the survival of Starbreeze, because they were in a lot of hot water there for a long time, shutting down. At one point, they actually looked like they were just going to completely shut the doors and walk away, Scott.
Ooh, that's bad. That's quite a surprise, because I know Payday 2 just really blew up at one point. It was super popular.
No, absolutely. So it's nice to see them stick around. Did you ever play Payday at all?
I have not. No. I'm very curious though, and if there's a Payday 3 down the line, then it certainly is worth me investigating.
Yeah, no, it should be. I'm anxious to see how it goes. Payday is a co-op experience, right? So I never had the friends to play with at the time to get into that game. So we were always on to other things. So now maybe I can pique some interest for my buddies to come over and play some Payday 3, which will launch until 2023. So it's still a ways away yet, but something to keep your eye out for. And maybe you can go mobile in the meantime. But Days Gone is back because, man... we just keep talking about it. Scott, Sony has announced that the PlayStation exclusive Days Gone will officially be making its way to PC on May 18th, 2021, with the 21:9 ultra wide monitor support, and unlocked frame rate, and more.
Yeah, that sounds exciting to me. We've been talking about Days Gone so much that I'm just wanting to play the game now, but lacking the hardware, that's my biggest hurdle. If this comes to PC, which it seems like coming out in May 18th, they must have been working on this for a little while. But I'm excited that Days Gone is joining some other PlayStation games on the way to PC. I like that integration.
Yeah, it's nice to see them over there. You see Xbox doing the same thing. So you have to think that Sony's looking to try and counteract with some of their big heavy hitters. But Days Gone 2 is still a question. But if you're going to bring over Days Gone, you think you're going to be into a whole new install of players. And maybe this could be the turnaround point for the fact that we might actually get Days Gone 2, Scott. What do you think?
Yeah, if they were talking about how it wasn't quite enough of a commercial success, this is a new chance to put it out again, and hopefully it sells well and warrants a second title. I think the social media response to Days Gone coming out and being in the headlines has really shown that a lot of people are into the game. It is popular. So
Absolutely.
Again, I have to question why there was rejection for a sequel. But I'm starting to think that it was maybe just a tentative rejection, and now they're working on what they need to in order to actually go ahead with a sequel.
It's possible. Anything is possible. You never say never in this industry because there's always surprises around the corner, right? Like the surprises at a Nintendo's Indie World Showcase yesterday. They showcased 21 games. Dude, I am pumped for a ton of these games. Let's give you a quick rundown of what they announced yesterday. Oxenfree 2, Lost Signals, Road 96, Ollie Ollie World, Hindsight, Last Stop, The Longing, Aerial Knights Never Yield, Aztec Forgotten Gods, There Is No Game, World Dimension, Wrong Dimensions, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, Crisis Tales, Skull, The Hero Slayer, Getsufuma Den, Undying God, I'm pretty sure I said that close anyways, Fez, Beasts of Maravilla Island, Art of Rally, Kiwi, Ender Lilies, Quietus of the Nights, Weaving Tides, Labyrinth City, and House of the Dead remake. Scott, we've got a couple to showcase here because there were some cool ones that really came out. Dude, I've been kind of looking for something to really dive in deep with my Switch lately, and I have, I'm playing a couple things. We got one actually coming up on this week's review. Me and Corey are checking out a game, Pocket Planet. You and I talked about this not too long ago on the show. Corey and I are diving in for the full review, so make sure you check that out at insidethegame.ca and, of course, TV platforms around the world. And let's get into some of these titles because a lot of people are looking for Oxenfree 2 Lost Signals. Night School Studios sequel to its indie hit Oxenfree Lost Signals is set 5 years after the events of the original game. Riley returns to her hometown of Kamiya to investigate a mysterious radio frequency seemingly causing disturbances. Lost Signals is out on Nintendo Switch in 2021. Scott, did you play Oxenfree 1?
No, I had watched my roommate play it quite a bit, though, and I'm curious to see what they do in Oxenfree 2. The first one seemed to be a very story, character-driven kind of experience.
Sure,
but it was nice. It was more of a slower paced kind of mystery thing, and a world to go and adventure through. It seemed to be really interesting. I've seen Oxenfree 2 just kind of blow up on Twitter over the last 24 hours. People really excited talking about that one.
No, absolutely. It was a big hit, actually, when initially it launched. People were talking about it all the time because there was a situation where you would have a conversation, but if you walked away, that conversation would keep going, whether or not you were entitled, or if you stuck around to kind of pay attention to listen to it. So the group of friends would go out on their little quest and stuff. I never really played it. Definitely heard good things about it. I know a lot of people are pretty pumped for Oxenfree 2. I'm looking forward to Road 96, a narrative adventure game from DigiArts that mirrors the classic Road movie. Players will go through a procedural story with thousands of potential story branches, which will take you to all kinds of different storylines. The choices will change the characters you meet their backstory. Road 96 will come out sometime later this year. I was listening. You have to actually go check out Road 96 trailer. We have it playing right now. Obviously, you can't hear it. The person will go, I was here. And then they go, no, I was over here. Oh, no, I was here. So there's so many different dialogue choices and options. It just kind of almost feels like a liar simulator, Scott, because they're just constantly changing the story. It seems really, really cool. Pretty pumped for that one. Everybody go check out Road 96. Pretty excited to see what they do over there. And hopefully...
I'm getting a vibe from it, an Oregon Trail vibe.
Yeah, there you go. Absolutely. You should take a look at this one then. This is Last Stop, the second Annapurna published title. This one from developer Variable State. This third-person adventure game is set in a modern-day London where three strangers will meet during a supernatural crisis. Last Stop will release this July. Not too far away at all. Really excited for this one. This one looks cool. Dude, they had so many games yesterday. I was really impressed after watching the trailers and all that stuff come out and kind of getting re-caught up on today's show that dude, my Switch is going to be very busy.
Yeah, I'm going to have to find my charger.
Yeah, I've got it charged right now. I'm ready to go. But these games don't look like they're coming till summer or the fall. But we can get into Aerial Knights Never Yield from the developer Aerial Knight. This runner game is set in a stylized Tokyo-inspired Detroit. Run through the city as Wally to the backdrop of a cool soundtrack. Aerial Knights Never Yield is coming out on May 19th. And a demo is actually available right now if you want to check that out. I'm going to be checking it out. There was a mobile game, I can't remember what it was called, like Vector or something along that line. And it was a side-scrolling parkour game. And this kind of gives me those vibes a little bit. Dude, I got to check this out for sure.
Yeah, this looks cool. I like the kind of obstacle course you're running throughout the whole thing.
I know. Super cool, isn't it? I can't wait to try it out. I'm going to be downloading the demo now. Well, once I'm done the show. Everybody do that too. Make sure you check that out. I want to check out Aztec Forgotten Gods, a 3D action game from Mexican developer Lorenzo. Inspired by Aztec mythology, use an upgradable arm weapon and travel through different areas of a Mesoamerican metropolis where Aztec Forgotten Gods is released this fall. Dude, this game is so cool. That kind of got me a bit of I want to say it, but Zelda feel, like the art style, the art direction, right? The Breath of the Wild-esque kind of, it fits very well on the Switch. We've seen a lot of games come to the Switch lately that kind of is, the Switch is lacking the power though, Scott. That's my biggest problem right now, is the Switch lacks the power. But I think a lot of these games that they're so stylized, they fit the Switch very well, keeping it portable, keeping it handheld, and maybe don't necessarily take it to the big screen where it can't showcase that power as much.
Yeah, they're not quite pumping out 8K or 8K giant releases, but I feel like they're using their hardware pretty well for what they have. It seems to be that these games are pretty interesting looking, and to your point, the cell shading or the artistic choices in the graphics a lot of the time, they look good to me. I know it's not the hyper realism that some people really enjoy, but I enjoy the way this. Looking at the trailer now, this actually looks really nice. Yeah,
it looks awesome. Scott, I think what you're really going to enjoy is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, a throwback to the retro arcade Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game. This one is from Tribute Games, and Damatu brings the four Ninja Turtle brothers back in a 4-player beat 'em up. The upcoming title is coming later this year. I know a lot of people are pumped for this one. When Corey saw this, he lost it. He was ready to jump back in for this brawler.
And he's our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle guy, I think, on the team. I have a friend as well that played a lot of Turtles in Time, and now it's with a friend, and it seems like this one is my turn.
Yeah, I remember for those of you who don't know, when we actually did this show all together in a group and not from home like this, we actually did it in front of a green screen. I remember Corey came one day with the Ninja Turtles for the podcast. He had a Ninja Turtles shirt on, and it was green, so he actually blended in, and all you'd have was his head floating above. It was hilarious.
I remember that. That was quite fun.
It was a ton of fun. Yeah. Let's get into Art of Rally successfully brings together complex and realistic driving mechanics and a soothing, minimalist aesthetic for a stylized experience for the golden age of rally. Now, soon to enjoy on the go. Art of Rally will release on Nintendo Switch this summer. It's out on Steam Early Access. Adam and I were checking it out over there. Had a good time. Dude, that game was pretty tough, actually. Gonna be honest.
I like the blend of rally racing, though, and this graphical style. I think this will work well.
Yeah.
I've tried to play some of the other rally racing games. I won't name them, but they're very difficult to kind of see where you're going just because of the graphic fidelity is so good. There's so much on screen that my eyes get confused.
Yeah, no, for sure. And then wrapping things up was House of the Dead remake, a remake of the classic rail shooter. Remember movie theaters? Well, with a new look and some gameplay challenges, team up with a buddy when House of the Dead remake is out on Switch later this year as well. No actual release dates, just a couple in there, just kind of spattered throughout the showcase, but a lot of later this year, Scott.
Well, yeah, it's an indefinite, but I'm sure they don't want to set a date and then have to move it, as is the trend. But House of the Dead remake, that's cool. I remember playing House of the Dead quite often, visiting my local theater. So to get this on a Switch, that'll be really interesting. I want to see if maybe the motion controls is how you aim. Perhaps it's Joy-Con. I really don't know, but the possibilities excite me.
No, for sure. Let's go over to Kalmar. Set your sights on the new settings for the Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 dramatic campaign. Dude. Okay, so we've seen the highs and lows of the Sniper Ghost Warrior series, not to get confused with the Sniper Elite. Two different developers. CI Games develops the Sniper Ghost Warrior franchise, where Rebellion works on the Sniper Elite series. Two different series, but Sniper Elite is always kind of taken the reins and showcased, and it's been flawless, to be honest. Now we're getting a first look at the variety of sandboxes that will complete their contracts as they snipe, sneak, and firefight with the adversaries in the best looking Sniper Ghost Warrior game thus far. Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts 2 launches on June 4th, 2021 on PS5, PS4, Xbox Series X, S, Xbox One, and PC. I am pretty pumped. We did the Sniper Ghost Warrior Contracts review back in the day. That was last year or the year before now, I want to say at this point. It's been a while. Definitely looking for a sniper game. I've been waiting for the Sniper Elite series to kind of go more modern. Haven't seen it yet, but Sniper Ghost Warrior, here we go, Scott. Here's our chance. I am excited.
This looks like it could be cool. I remember playing one way back on 360.
Sure.
And I was less impressed. But now as they move forward and modernize, I think there's quite a lot to be had out of this game. Especially if they get some of those enemy AI things worked out, but it's a whole new generation of consoles now. I have to believe that they've got that more under wraps. I'm curious to see what comes out of this title.
No, absolutely. Game looks super cool. Scott, why don't we move on? Let's wrap up the show for today. What is coming out today, my friend?
Oh, today we have a special one of my favorites, actually, that I just have to add a special mention there.
Yeah.
We've done a review on this one on the show, so if you're curious at all, please check out our channel for a full review on this one. But we have Quantum League making its full release on PC. Now, we experienced it when it was in early access, so now that it's in full, I'm probably going to go check that out again. But in addition to Quantum League, we have Shadow Man Remastered coming to PC. Saga Frontier Remastered coming to PC, PS4, and the Switch. Stitchy in Tuki Trouble, my mistake, on the Switch. Ashwalkers, A Survival Journey on PC.
That is actually live right now. Guys, Steve and Nate reviewed that. It is live on the channel as of right now. Make sure you head to Inside the Game, the official, over on YouTube. That's where we posted that one, as well as InsideTheGame.ca.
I'm gonna be checking that one out myself. I'm curious. And we have Hitchhiker coming to the Xbox One and the PC. Rain on Your Parade coming to the Xbox One and PC. That one looks like a nice, cute title. Then Dark Side Detective: A Fumble in the Dark coming to PS5 and PC. And Aldeus: Beyond Chronos coming to PS4.
Well, that will wrap up today, everybody. Thank you for hanging out with us. Don't forget, you can always be a part of the show live on twitch.tv/theofficialitg or join our Discord, where there you can submit your questions at ITG Daily. And you can always find us on streaming TV platforms around the world, inside the game.ca, podcast services as well. Until tomorrow, everybody, thanks again, and we'll see you inside the game.